Yes,
so
thank
far, thank you so much. And so far we have been discussing about logging in and why we use the cluster and how we can schedule a job on the cluster. So in real life scenario, when we need to run something, we might have input, and after running, we will have outputs and all. So we need to transfer something from our laptop or our personal computer to the cluster, and after some simulation or running some job script, you might need that output to your local system. That's so you need to transfer files. That's what Bende is going to talk about today, and we will hear from Bende. Hi, Bende. Can you introduce yourself? I know that you did yesterday, but there might be new people who would like to know about you.
Yeah. So hi, my name is still Bente, and I am currently at the UIT, so that is Tromsø. And so it's just my luck to almost lose my voice when I have to teach. So if I cough, I'm sorry, and please let me know if I need to speak louder, because yeah, it might disappear.
Thank you. Thank you for teaching, even though you have a cough. It was hard for me to find any replacement.
No, it's fine. I just have to cough a little bit in between, and I will maybe not have a voice for the rest of the day, but that is fine. Should we get started then?
Yes.
So we will talk about transferring files. I will demonstrate how to transfer or how to download files from the internet into the cluster. And then later we will talk about how to transfer files from the cluster and to your local computer and vice versa. So let's start with downloading files from the internet. So if you have the address of the file you want to download, then you can use the command wget. And the syntax is very straightforward. You just write wget followed by the URL of the file that you want to transfer. So on the login node, you have internet access. Otherwise, you would not be able to do that. I can say a little bit about my setup here, since I will be both on, I will be transferring files back and forth from my local computer and to the cluster. I have two terminals open. So for this one to the left, I am logged in on Saga, and in this one to the right, I am on my local computer. So let's start with wget for downloading files to the cluster. So I will be here in the terminal where I'm logged in to Saga. So I have a file on my GitHub that I want to download. So I would just write wget and followed by the URL. And that seemed to work fine. And if you use it like this, it will download it to the location you are in while running wget. So that is straightforward.
One thing, wget we can use as a script. We can you can download multiple files with using a script, right?
Yeah, I guess. But if you send the script to Slurm with the SBatch, then you might not have the same internet access as on the login node.
Yeah, not on the Slurm, but we can have a script of wget list of files and create a script with all the lists and run the script on the login node. Then you are expected to get all the files in the list, right?
Yes. Yeah. So some of you might have downloaded software from GitHub or GitLab before using the command git clone, and you can do the same on Saga and the other clusters. Let me just, I want to remove this hello world here, and I want to download a repository instead. And I will do that with git clone. That seems to work well as well. Have you talked about GitHub before in this course?
No, we haven't talked about GitHub. No, nothing about version control so far.
Yeah.
But
I-
Git is the real life scenario when I want to clone some repository on my home directories would be sometimes I need a code someone published on their GitHub. So or my group, I wanted to have that code code on my home directory to run something. I would do that git clone. And in this case, you use SSH git clone. You can see on the GitHub repository how you can clone it, right?
Yes. Yeah, so I use SSH to clone it, yes.
Yeah.
So I guess we don't have too much time to go into Git right now,
no.
but it is a very useful tool, and you might already have had to download software with git clone before. So this is how you do that. Should we move on to transferring files through and for your local computer?
Mm-hmm.
So when you want to transfer files from the cluster into your local computer or vice versa, you should always do that from your local computer. Or that's at least easier because then you have, as you will see later, you have, you can use this line here to tell where the file is or on Saga, but it's not as easy for Saga to know about your local path on your local computer. So I find it easier to just do everything from a local computer and not do this operation while logged into Saga, if that made sense.
Yeah, I do the same. So you were mentioning this tool rsync. That's what the recommended tool to transfer files from your computer to computer, to cluster, or vice versa, right?
2 seconds. Someone tried to come into my phone. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so we will talk about the rsync. Some of you might have used secure copy from before. So that will be the command scp. And rsync does the same thing, but much, much better. So we recommend you use rsync instead. It is much faster than secure copy, especially if you have a lot of data, or also if you have a lot of small files. And also it has this function where you can restart where you stopped in case you lose connection during your transfer.
So before you try, Bende, do you recommend the participants type along with you, or you want them to just listen?
Very good question. I guess you can, I mean, it will be hard to copy the files from my user on Sigma or on Saga. So if you want to follow along, you have to have some files in your own home directory, I guess, to try to move back and forward. So I would maybe just watch, I think.
Okay.
Or I guess, I mean, if you want to, you can try to follow along. I will not stop you. But yeah, so rsync is the command to transfer. So now I am in this terminal on my local computer. And I will write rsync followed by 3 flags, A, V, Z. And I think I suggest that we come back to these flags later. We can discuss them. But the syntax is very simple. You first have to define the file that you want to transfer. And then the next input is the destination that you want to transfer it to. So on my local computer here, I have this file I have called run helloworld.sh, and I want to copy that to my folder on Saga.
So how do you know about the path? Yeah, of course.
On Saga?
Yeah, anywhere.
Yes. Yes. So when I'm specifying the file that I want to move, which is in my local computer, then from my local computer it's easy because I am in the directory of the file I want to copy. So I just need to type the name of the file that I want to copy. And I can do that since I'm in the same folder. So if it was in a subfolder, I would have to specify where it is. Or something like that. That part is easy. And then how
So,
to...
one question, Bende, sorry for interrupting. So you are not specifying the path here because you are inside the directory. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, you can specify the whole path if you want to. So I could do rsync that and use the whole path to this file like this.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have to make sure I write it correctly. Hello. There. Okay. So the next step would be to specify the location, and that will be on Saga. So the way you do that, you follow this pattern here with your username at saga@sigma2.no. You don't have to specify what login node. Do you know if there's any benefits of specifying the login node you want to use?
I don't use actually, but I don't know whether there is any specific benefit. I usually don't use.
No, I'm me neither. So I would just use my username and saga@sigma2.no. Then column. And then you need to specify the path which you want to transfer the file to. So I wrote the WD on the cluster to see the path to the folder I'm in. And this is the folder I want to copy my file to. I will just copy that and paste that in here. So that looks correct to me. Let's see. It seems that everything went okay. And I can go back to the terminal with my where I'm logged into Saga and see, yes, I have managed to copy a file over to Saga. Is there any questions to that?
Do you want to take one question during transferring files? Do we need to specify login host or it's optional? And it's answered. Sure. And you
okay,
talk
good.
about the path, but we can try a little bit more and explain the options you put, what does it means.
Yes, we will come back to that very shortly.
Yeah.
But let's first do the opposite of transferring something from the cluster and to your local computer. And again, you do that from your local computer, and you use the same command as before. You just have to switch the two inputs. So first you have to specify, or you always first specify the file you want to transfer. But now you have to specify the location on Saga.
Bende, I just want to avoid confusion. So you are going to download a file from Saga, but are you going to do the same run hello world.sh? It might be a confusion because it has the same name. You already have it on your laptop.
Yeah, very good point. Thank you. Let's so here on Saga, let's move into this folder that I downloaded from GitHub with git clone. Maybe we can transfer one of these files instead. And so I will write so here is my username and address. So I now want to copy this hello world.py, which is located in this folder. I copy the path to the folder, and then I add. I don't want to transfer the whole folder yet. I just want to have one specific file. That is the. And I will use a shortcut here, just the dots, which specifies the location I am in right now. Have you covered that shortcut?
I think we mentioned about dot yesterday, like a CD. The dot means where you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
my takeaway from this discussion would be, like we used a tool rsync, and when we transfer, it's important we know the path, where to where. So pwd is the command to type find the path, and you can follow, like depends on the path and where you want, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, and also you can transfer multiple files or directories at once. You just have to specify all the paths that to all the files you want to transfer. But the last input always has to be the destination. So I don't think there's the. I think you can specify as many paths you want here, but just make sure that the last one is the destination. Should we maybe talk about the flags?
Yeah.
So the flags are not explained in this document here, but we have some documentation in our in our documentation. So if you start here at the homepage of the this documentation, you can write the rsync here in the search thingy. And then the first find is a site called file transfer. You can click there and then you can read more about the rsync. So here we have described some flags. So let's see the flags that we have used. We have used the A, which preserves ownership and timestamps, and it also includes the R option. R for recursively. So you need either this flag or the R flag if you want to copy folders. Without it, it will just be for single files. And further down, there is a section about compression. And rsync, it can compress your files before transferring this, which will make them smaller and everything will go faster. And this is very easily used using the set flag. And then the last flag we used was V. And V is not covered in this document here, but V, it stands for verbose, and it changes nothing to the operation. It would just, if you include V, you get a bit more information printed out when you use the command. So when I used rsync here, it gave me some information about speed and bytes and size. So I guess if you don't use V here, then you will maybe not see this text. So those are the 3 flags we have used. And there are more, and you're welcome to read more about them in our documentation. But let's go back to this session. So I think I want to copy over a whole folder from the cluster into my local computer. And let's just remove this hello world for now. And we can remove the run. We have an empty folder here.
Yeah, and one thing about RM I would like always mention when on Unix or Linux flavored system, if you do RM, the file is permanently lost. Not like Windows where we can take it from the trash bin. That is not possible here. So I would be cautious whenever I use RM. I had a bad experience with using RM, and I lost all the files. But in this case, Bende doesn't want to have these files, or she has another copy somewhere, I guess.
Yes, on the cluster, I hope. I think I transferred the hello world over before I removed it, but I could easily have forgotten that, and then the file would be gone. So very good example.
One question regarding this transfer, Bende, I think I got it in the morning. When we transfer file from our laptop to cluster, we are just copying the files from the laptop. It will still stays on the laptop, even though it is copied to the cluster, right? It's not got deleted.
Yes, so I might be, maybe transfer is a bad word to use. It's copied over. Yeah, so when you use rsync, you don't, in the process, delete the file, the original file.
Yeah, we got a good question about what are the flags. Would you like to comment on that?
The flags that we use, A, V, and Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe the question probably about flags in general.
Yeah. So flags are optional options, I guess. It's it gives you more flexibility of what you can do. So it depends on the command what flags are available. So rsync will still work without any flags, but like I mentioned, or as is described in the documentation, if you use the set flag, it will compress the file before transferring. So it will speed up the process because you make the file smaller first. And then I use the V flag, which is just a flag because I want to know more about the transfer. I want to see this text here. And then the A flag is to make it recursive so that I can copy folders as well. But this will still work without the flags. It's just that I like to have these options, optional options to make life easier.
Yeah, so could you show us if how can I find the options or flags for the rsync? Can I find it on man pages like man rsync? Does it give the option?
Like you mean like rsync
Maybe
help?
can oh yeah, help or man pages.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
another flag which is very common in a lot of commands is this help flag. So if you are new to a command and you don't know how to use it, you can just try to write this help first. That's what I often do. And for rsync, it gave me a list of a lot of flags and some description. And maybe in the top there is something about usage. Yeah, so here tells me a bit about how to use it. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, good. And now also Google is always a good tool to have here if you need more help. Okay.
Mm.
Where are we? Yes, I wanted to copy over a whole folder. So now on my local computer, I have nothing in this folder. And let's see, maybe I want to copy over, I think I want to copy over this folder from the cluster and to my local computer. So I will use rsync. So now the A flag is certainly needed because I'm copying a folder and it will not work without this flag. And maybe we can try it without the V because that was just to give me more information. And yeah, let's still use set, which will compress the file before moving it. And I want it here. So let's see what happens if I don't have a trailing slash. So you see, I did not use the V flag, and now it gave me no output, or like I mean, it gave me no information of what happened. It just happened. But we see I managed to copy a whole folder. So this was as I expected. However, if I had used the trailing slash, let's see what happens now. Suddenly it looks different. And it is because this slash here, when you use it, it will not copy the folder that you specified. It will actually just recursively copy everything that is inside the folder, but not the folder itself. So just a small tip, if using this and you include this slash, and then suddenly you have a lot of small files that you expected to be in a folder, then maybe this is the problem. Yes. Okay, this is the documentation. So let's go back to the course page. So we have covered this, and we have covered that you can copy several files. And yeah, we have covered the slash. Was the slash trailing slash clear?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was distracted on the collaborative document. What was your question?
No, I was just explaining the difference of including this trailing slash or not.
Yeah, I think it's all good. Probably one good thing we can mention is the documentation stays there, and you are welcome and highly recommended to go through our documentation. And if you find there is something missing, let us know, and we will try to fix that as well.
Yeah. So let's talk about transferring large amounts of data. And with rsync, this is very easy if you first have learned to use it. So when if you have a large amount of data, it is recommended that you use the flag partial and progress. And the partial flag, it ensures that partial transfer files are kept, so that if you have to resume the transfer in case of interruption, it will go faster because you don't have to start all over again. And then the progress option will display the progress of the transfer, which is very nice if it is taking a lot of time. Then you probably want to know how it's going, and if you're close to the finish or not. And these two options are combined in this uppercase P. So if you have to transfer large amounts of data, you just do the exact same thing as we have done, but you have to include this uppercase P to your flags. And yeah, that's all there is to it. So yeah, this is a good example of how good it is to have some flags to use.
I'm muted. Would you like to check this collaborative document and show the path again a little bit? Maybe it might be confusing.
With rsync?
Could you go back to the collaborative document? Do you have it open?
Yes, I have it open.
Yeah.
Here?
Maybe question 36. Would you like to explain it a little bit more? Since we have time, I'm just asking you. I'm trying to answer questions here.
I'm sorry, you want me to answer which question?
Okay, that's strange. I have 36. You don't have it. Yeah, 34 in your view mode. It is 34. I have it as 36 here. Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Please explain if path means whole folder path or what? Okay, so you can both use like the absolute path, or you can use like a relative path. So what I did in my example was I used like a relative path. I used like a dot because I wanted to just use the path of directory I was in. But you can also use an absolute path. Sorry, can you maybe help me understand this question? I am not sure I managed to
I think
answer it.
Please explain path means whole folder path or what? I think this path to local, in the example, probably the one who asked the questions wants to know about this is the whole path of the folder. Probably good to mention that path of if we are transferring file, only one file or a couple of files, it is the path where in your laptop, for example, for local means in your local setup, where is the file is. That is the path, right? So you will go to the directory and see, and you type pwd, you will get to know which path you are in. So if you type in your, so what?
So now on my local computer, if I type pwd, it tells me that I am in this path here, or I'm here. This is the path to where I am right now. So rsync, if I wanted to copy this whole folder over to the cluster, I could have used this whole address or whole path. So that's, I guess, more similar to the example path to local directory. I guess this would be like the absolute path, like this.
Yeah, and I guess we were showing the from thing, but we were working on Saga. So the tabs you are showing, now it is from. Okay.
Oh, okay. So I've
Saga.
been just doing it
I'm not
some
sure.
places and not
I
all
didn't
places.
realize that, but the one it copied here is on Saga.
Yeah, so the default is from, like it opens it from, and then the manually have to move over to Saga on the in the teaching pages.
Yeah.
Maybe a note for next time. But yeah, in my example, I did not use this absolute path. I just used like a relative path. So if because I am now in this folder, so I'm now in this folder, so I don't have to specify it when I just write run hello. It knows it's something buggy here. But yeah, I can just use this. I don't have to use the whole path to this file. And same when I'm using rsync, I can just, do you think we have explained enough on this?
I think so. I hope there is not many confusion regarding the transferring file. You can indicate on the collaborative document, and if, as I mentioned earlier, the document stays here, and I really recommend you to go through this document and test all these commands later today or the coming days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Bende. Or do you want to say something?
I really wanted to just show very quickly this graphical user interface.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So you need to set up your Visual Studio Code for this. You need to connect it with SSH, and we have documentation here on how to do that. So I have already done this, and after doing those steps in this documentation, my Visual Studio Code looks like this. And if you use the Visual Studio Code, you know you can open a folder here, and you will see your files here to the left. So to me, it looks like these files are locally on my computer, but they are not. These are the files that are actually on Saga. So this run hello world and this file here. And so you can also transfer files with drag and drop. I am on a Mac, so I have this Finder window here, and if I just drag this over here, I have now copied this file over to Saga. So if I go back to my Saga terminal here, you see now this demo file is present. And I can also open files and edit them directly to Saga. So if you have, instead of having to copy back and forward script, maybe you could just edit them directly on Saga through Visual Studio Code. So I just thought that was a very cool feature.
Yeah, that's good. Good to know. I'm just checking if there is any questions. If there is anything you want to mention, any more questions, you're welcome. I think we are going to end the session in 10 minutes. But, do you have something else to say, Bende, or should we wrap up this session?
I think we can wrap up. We did not get to this part of working with files on different environments, and this is mostly for Windows users. So if you're a Windows user, maybe you can look at this yourself. Yeah. Other than that, no, I am happy.
Yeah, and we are happy as well. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Can I take over your screen probably? Wait